Yeah, no.
Somebody's gonna show up.
All right, I'd like to call the Commissioners' meeting in order. Everyone please stand. Let me pledge allegiance and meeting along both sides. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This meeting is a public meeting. It's being recorded and will be posted on the county's YouTube channel in the near future. Anything said in it will become part of public record. Since the last time the commissioners met, I cannot think of any executive session that we had. Oh, I'm so sorry. I will go back and rescind. We are not in the commissioners' meeting. For the purposes of our minutes, we are in the CDBG hearing.
No.
No? You don't need the CDBG hearing?
No, we don't. I took that back. No, you said it was okay. Oh, it was okay that it was wrong because we don't have to do it.
Why don't we have to have the hearing?
Do you want a sidebar with me? No.
Was there an advertisement?
Actually, because it was a budget revision and not a budget modification.
Ah, that
Does that
makes
mean
perfect
something to you?
sense.
Well,
If you do,
just
you've got a good memory.
Even if it's a couple of minutes, we've advertised the public hearing, right?
We did, so we can do it.
So we should just do it
All right.
briefly.
Okay, I'm opening public hearing for CDBG 2017 modification.
Revision.
Revision. Did you want to add anything? Did any of the
Not
public
a
want to
penny.
add anything? Very good, then I would ask for a motion to adjourn the CDBG 2017
Are there any comments on the proposed budget modification? Would you like me to explain it
Could you?
at this point? I'd be so happy to. Trying to make this not convoluted because it really is. Basically what we're doing is we're moving some unused 2017 monies into projects that are ready to roll to expend our CDBG funds in a timely manner. We are to expend them within 3 years of receiving the contract. In 2017, we had originally planned to create a stormwater system in Bear Lake on Center Street, and we had most of the funds in 17 allocated towards that project. Actually, we were able to fund most of that project with funds from our 15 and 16 contracts also, due to projects that were canceled, finished under budget, the ever-moving money around to spend it in a timely fashion. So we only needed, of the $184,000 that we had set aside for the stormwater project, we only needed about $30,000. So we, the original plan was we have promised Bear Lake that we will now go back and repave the roadway on Center Street. We're going to hire an engineer with CDBG funds for that, and we're also going to then hire a contractor. The estimate on that is about $155,000, which is what we have left over in 17 unspent. However, that process is going to take some time because we have to do an RFP for an engineer, they have to design the system, blah, blah, blah. It's going to take some time. So we're going to move into that 2 projects that are ready to roll, street reconstruction projects in Clarendon Borough, Allison Street and Miley Avenue. They were originally proposed for 2018 contract funding, so we're going to move those back and use them then, and then we'll switch the money out and do the Center Street paving with the 18 money, is essentially what's going to happen. We will be having a revision to the 18 contract, actually a modification, but we can't yet because one of the projects on that hasn't been approved yet with our 19 application. Questions? What'd she say? So I'm just asking to move around some money for some already approved projects in order to expend the funds in a timely fashion.
Very good.
Any questions?
I'll close public comment. And ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Now, opening the commissioners' meeting Apologize for the error on my part. I already mentioned the meeting's being recorded. There are no executive sessions since the last time we met, nor is there any correspondence that I can think of that needs to come before the body. This time I would ask if there's any public comment. Hearing none on the agenda today, we have a light agenda, Resolution 3151, which is the CDBG budget revision that we just talked about, an agreement with Susquehanna Accounting Consulting, and certification of 2020 millage rate. And then as a reminder, during the commissioner comment period, I'd appreciate it if you could give any update on the committees that you're appointed to. Did you get a chance to review the minutes from January 8th? Did you give your approval?
Yes.
Commissioner Durden?
Yes.
All right. Finance report. This is the first report that we've gotten out of the new system, and we're still modifying and honing it to report what we would really like out of it. But for simplicity, tonight, starting balance was $2.9 million, and $500,000 came out for an ending balance in the general fund of $2,431,376. Questions? There is one proclamation on the agenda. Matters for school choice. Whereas all children in Warren County should have access to the highest quality education possible, and whereas Warren County recognizes the important role that an effective education plays in preparing all students in Warren County to be successful adults, and whereas quality education is critically important to the economic vitality of Warren County, and whereas Warren County is home to a multitude of high-quality public and non-public schools from which parents can choose for their children in addition to families who educate their children in the home, and whereas education variety not only helps to diversify our economy, but also enhances the vibrancy of our community. And whereas Warren County has many high-quality teachers, professionals, and teaching professionals in all types of school settings who are committed to educating our children, whereas School Choice Week is celebrated across the country by millions of students, parents, educators, schools, and organizations to raise awareness of the need for effective education options. Now therefore be resolved that we, the Commissioners of Warren County, proclaim the week of January 26th through February 1st, 2020 as School Choice Week in Warren County. Any comments? Very good. Then I would ask for a motion to approve the agenda, the minutes, the finance report, and this proclamation.
I'll also move to do all of those things.
I will second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion? Comment? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. There's no old business on the agenda. New business, as we just heard in the last hearing, we have Resolution 3151 before us, which is a resolution authorizing revision of Warren County's fiscal year 2017 Community Development Block Grant Program. Are there any questions for Lori at this time? Hearing none, I would ask for a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll make that motion to approve resolution number 3151.
I will second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion? Comment? All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is an agreement with Susquehanna Accounting and Consulting Solutions. One of the findings in our audit, frankly, for years has been lack of a few ending balance revisions and such things that really CPA is most qualified to do. It's not something that our fiscal office is necessarily capable of doing. In addition, as we move from the old system to the new system, it would be very helpful to have professional CPAs help us figure out exactly what, for audit purposes especially, our reports and such should look like. And as a consequence, our auditing firm, Zelenkowski and Axelrod, recommended Susquehanna Accounting. These are the folks that we worked with on the early intervention program a couple of years ago. We worked very well with them and we're very pleased with them. And so they came up with a proposal, and it would be for the following rates: shareholder $265 an hour, director or supervisor $195, senior consultant $155 an hour, and consultant at $120 an hour. The services that would be performed in 2020 would largely be kind of set up along the lines of the new software system. Going forward, there would probably be some room for maintenance, but that could be discussed in future years. At any rate, I have before us a proposal from Susquehanna Accounting Consulting in order to help us with the CPA work for this year. I would ask for a motion to approve the proposal before us.
And just as additional information, the total fees will not exceed $20,000. And I believe we have a grant that we're applying for that will cover costs.
90%.
90% of that cost, and additionally, we did budget more than that in our budget in order to cover it. So, could I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that a motion to approve the
I'll
agreement.
second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion from the board? Any public comment? Hearing none, all those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, certification of the 2020 millage rate. This is something I think we probably should have done at the first meeting. This certifies the millage rate levied and assessed by the county for 2020. This conforms with the budget that was already released at a rate of 21.75 mils. I have a motion to approve the millage rate.
I'll make that motion to approve the 2020 millage rate.
I will second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion from the board? Public comment? All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I don't have a personnel transaction report. Was there none? Okay. All right, commissioner comments. So you can talk about anything you want to, but especially I'd like to take some time to talk about the boards that any of us serve on and the meetings that we've had since our last meeting, anything of interest that you want to bring up.
In my case, I'm just on the library board there in full swing of trying to raise money for the teen room, the teen space, and the general renovation of the library. I think that they estimated that at somewhere like $1.3 million for the total renovation, something along those lines. Very exciting, looking forward to supporting that. This Saturday is the library midwinter fundraiser. Encourage everyone to attend. Tickets, have them. And that's it, I think.
Very good.
But
Awesome.
I haven't gone to a meeting yet.
I attended the Warren County Visitors Bureau meeting as they were wrapping up their year, and we're very, we talked a lot about the advertisement that was circulated in the movie theaters in Jamestown and how well received that was. I suggested to them that they share that with the WCCBI because we think that that would be a great connection to make and to work together. They came out this year above budget compared to what they expected to spend, and they provided the annual report associated with that. And they were excited to talk about the fact that all of the tour books that they had published for 2019 were distributed. So they're considering a larger order next year.
Very good. Anything else? All right, for my part, first of all, Northwest Commission, we have our annual audit meeting tomorrow. Last few years, 4 years I've been going to those meetings. We have not had any findings whatsoever. Come back squeaky clean, so I don't anticipate any issues. I went to the first Conservation District meeting, and that was last night. Just kind of getting my bearings, figuring out what committees to be on and such, but that's really encouraging to see. I don't know when the last time you were up there. Well, you stopped by, I guess, when I was up there a little while ago. Their building it's been a work in progress for, I don't know, 20 years probably. And they're really getting quite close to having it completed. The back half that hasn't been completed yet is slated to be done, I believe, this spring. So we've got the mop boards and tile and stuff sitting there ready to go. So that's encouraging, good to see. They were very appreciative of that additional $3,000 that we put into their budget. As you may recall, the county did the payroll for that organization, but one of the things that the auditors suggested was that since they're under their own EIN, they really should do their own payroll rather than reimburse the county, even though it's a county authority. So they switched over at the beginning of the year, but because of the additional cost that went into having the system and all, they asked that we, since we historically have borne the cost of the payroll, they asked for additional funds and we budgeted that, so they were very appreciative of that. EMS Council just came from that meeting. One takeaway for the county government is that their council is working very well with the task force in terms of being willing and ready to receive EMS task force information and tasks. As a reminder, the EMS task force is sunsetting, I believe it's April 15th. So the final plan, I'll be bringing to this body in a presentation, hopefully in about a month. One thing that the EMS Council is the only good organization well poised to do one important task is to monitor data from the 911 center on how many calls are being dropped by EMS agencies, and to come alongside and encourage those agencies to respond in a more timely and or effective manner. And it sounds like there's going to be a small committee, a subcommittee that will be tasked specifically with that. So that's a big deal, because one of the big problems that the whole system has right now is the fact that the EMS providers in the county are not following the EMS plan that they all signed off on a couple of years ago. So this subcommittee is really going to be tasked with that. Could go a long way in helping at least mitigate the immediate call time variation, where we have to call a primary dispatch agency and then wait 6 minutes before dispatching the next one, even if we know that no one is there to answer those the first call. LEPC, we had our meeting last week and toured the Forge, which is of course one of the bigger potential hazard sites. We are also kind of going over a restructure. One thing to note is that the city has asked to put one of their hazmat trailers in with our hazmat stuff at the warehouse. Won't take up any more footprint than hazmat's already using. I just want to make you aware. They will be bringing a memo of understanding to this body at some point in order to just formalize what that looks like. So they'll maintain ownership of the trailer and the materials and such, but our hazmat people will be able to use it if they want. Crime Stoppers, I haven't been to the first meeting, but did get the invite for it, and I think that's all for this week. Any questions? All right, last thing I wanted to mention was a revision to the law you may have seen come through in the CCAP bulletin. The Sunshine Law was somewhat slightly amended unanimously. That's HB 1069. Prime sponsor was Representative Aaron Bernstein. Basically, local governments like the county need to post our meeting agendas on our website at least 24 hours prior to a meeting. So it's largely been our practice to not add things before, usually at least 24, if not 48 hours. Usually we talk about it at Monday and at noon as to what's going to be on the agenda for the following Wednesday, or excuse me, 2 days out. And that said, there have been times where things come up or one of us drops the ball and doesn't put it on the website. The law clearly says that we're not going to be able to change that within 24 hours now, with two exceptions. One is the exception of a case of emergency posing danger in life or property, which is obvious. That's in the county code as well. I mean, we don't even need to have an advertised public meeting if that is the case. The other is if the matter is very minor and does not have any expenditure or contract approval associated with it. So for instance, if I wanted to appoint someone else on the EMS task force that has no financial or contractual bearing, that would be acceptable. We could change that on the fly. But what would not be would be a contract revision or anything that would expend money. So, just wanted to make everyone aware. That kind of has been our own internal rule for years, but now the law says the same thing, so we're really not going to be able to bend it. Any questions? All right, any other comments? Then I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made, seconded. All those in favor, please state aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Ta-da.